Okay, so welcome to this week 4, and this screencast is on question number 9. And the question essentially gives you a couple graphs and asks you to assess it based on the scatterplot nature of the graphs. Now, when we're talking about scatterplots, what happens, you have two quantitative variables and you plot how they change based on each other. You have the independent and the dependent variable. So in this case, we have congestion cost, and we have on the y-axis, and then on the x-axis we have peak period freeway speed. So these two variables are thought to be related, and we do a scatter plot to see how they are related. Now the things you look for in a scatter plot are the direction, the form, and the strength. The direction is either going to be positive or negative, and it's either going to mean that one is increasing while the other is increasing, or one is decreasing while the other decreases. And that we can see easily from this example here. So this one, while the predictive variable or the independent variable increases, this one is going up. So this is an uphill, so this is a positive relationship, unlike this, which is negative, which is a downhill. So that's going to be direction. The form speaks to the shape of the line or the shape of the curve. In other words, what cluster, the cluster of the points, what shape are they forming? The strength speaks to how much they are close to that approximate line or curve, and we'll see all of that will make sense once you read through the notes. Now, we looked at this scatter plot, and this one you can see that it's really negative, where in peak period freeway speed increases, the congestion cost decreases, and these are pretty much in a line going in this general direction, and the concentration is always a relative thing. So for this one, it's pretty close. They could be spread out more, and you'll see examples where you can compare. So the second thing that you look at is what we call the form, which we spoke about. And one of the other things you're going to look at is the strength of the relationship. Now, for instance, these are clustered, but they're not very defined, so this wouldn't be a very strong relationship. You also have to look at if you have outliers. In other words, let's say you have all the points forming an approximate line, and then there's one straggler point that lives outside that. So let's look at these examples. This one here, this is the scatter plot for x variable versus another variable. Now, there is a weak but a linear relationship between these, and I know that this looks that there's no formation to it, but one of the ways to look at it is that it doesn't look any more like a curved relationship than it does a straight line relationship. And once we're finished looking at the possibilities, you will see why this approximates more to a weak linear. It's linear, but it's super weak. The other one here, you can see that this one, there's clearly a curved path to this. You do have two outliers here, so this speaks to a curved relationship, a curved pattern with the plot, which suggests that the linear relationship would not be appropriate for this. Now looking at another one, this one, there is an approximate linear relationship, and we do note that there's one point, one outlier that is way far away from the rest of the scatter points. In this situation, this one is not as strong and it's all over the place. One of the ways to assess this is to to split it almost in thirds. So if you look at this first third, there wouldn't be much of a relationship. But with this second third, it's getting a little stronger, and with the last third, it's getting even stronger. So the points we can note on this one is that the shape of the graph indicates, let's reduce this a little bit so we can see all the notes at the same time. The shape of the graph indicates that the linear model is not applicable. This has a general fan shape, and you might think it's fan this way or it could be this way. Now, one of the other things that we may need to look at is, does the strength of the predictor variable as a predictor for the dependent variable increase or decreases as this one increases? Now, if you look at the first third, there's a weak relationship. The middle third, the relationship is stronger, and even stronger for the last third. So there is the predictability or the predictive capability increases as the independent variable increases, and that's another observation that you can make from these scatter plots. So go ahead and read through it. I would suggest that you watch the 7.5-minute long video that's attached to this question. If you click on the right, you will see a tab for video. I would suggest that you watch that. Paul, one of the authors, has a video that is posted in MyStatLab, so you probably want to take a look at it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to one of us. Alright, thanks. Bye.